Hey, what's good, barbecue family? It's your boy Joe Mill here, back with Killer Miller Q. And if you want to see yourself a good steak, you stay tuned right here as we're going to pull out these Omaha steaks. They're going to be done classically on the Weber Kettle grill. Mwah! Hold tight. Get it going. You see what we got out here? This is called dinner. Shouts out to wife. He hooked me up with some Omaha steaks back for our anniversaries, and I got a couple different selections and packs that I'm gonna pull out. But today, I'm just taking the easy way out, and I'm gonna mess with these little Omaha strip steaks. I don't know. These probably about a good 4 or 6 ounces, probably about 6 ounces or so. We're going to find out. I always hear they have such good quality with their meat. Obviously, everything's in there nice and pretty. These been sitting out just a little bit, but we're going to give them a little longer. We're going to get them out the package. I'm going to show you a little side recipe that we're going to do with these little potatoes. It's going to be super easy. And other than that, then they had corn on sale. It's summertime, so we went ahead and cleaned it up a little bit. It's been soaking in water with a little bit of salt in there for a while, so we'll get some roasted corn going. But first things first, let me get some of this thing together for you. Now that we got these steaks out the package, you can kind of see them. They're definitely nice and lean, got a little marbling in there, and they're so tender already, even though they still need to warm up a little bit. Prep on these are going to be super easy. I just wanted to get them out the package so they get some time to really just come up to room temperature and also absorb a little bit of this seasoning. We're doing, classically, nothing but some cracked black pepper and a little bit of salt on there. I'm going to spray them down with a little bit of my avocado oil spray. And then we're going to season them up with salt and pepper. We're going to be doing these classically style. I know that's normally probably best on a bigger steak with a little bit more fat, so there's more time for it to kind of go ahead and really come up to. But I think it's going to come out just good. We're going to get these babies oiled and seasoned. I'll bring you right back. One side is done, but I bring you in only because I love using my little toys over here. Got the electronic ones, just to give you a little idea how much I'm putting on. I don't want to put too much in on salt. Because it's pretty thin first off with these steaks, and then also I'm doing both sides. There's also going to be some butter that we're going to introduce in there with some other flavors, so you can always come with some finishing salt at the end, but go to your own palate. For me, I'm going to keep it a little lighter. However, in the exact opposite vein, this black pepper, we're going to go ahead and load that on. It's going to give me a nice little bit of crust, and I am a fan of black pepper. I like these little automated daddies. I mean, I don't got no sponsorship or nothing like that, but it's just kind of fun to play with a little bit of a gadget, and it definitely makes life a whole lot easier. These are great. I'm gonna leave them just like you see them, and they're gonna sit over here. We're gonna start to work on these mini potatoes. Oh, and let's throw this corn on. Now as we get into these little potatoes, I went with the colorful version. It'll be kind of fun. They're going to end up being some small smashed potatoes. These are going to take the majority of the time, which is why I wanted to kind of get these sitting over here on ice and really get working on these. I got the corn already out there indirect on the grill, so that can start getting some love. We're going to probably end up boiling these for roughly 10 minutes or so. You basically want to get them to the point where they are soft, where you can poke through. However, you don't want to get to the point where they become mushy, okay? Because we still got another cooking step. So all I got is a bowl or pan of water. And we're going to go ahead and add some salt to that, so that way you, oh yeah, I got to take the top off, can start to get a little bit of that seasoning in on those potatoes. Pardon my reach. I would say if you were actually counting this, let's get to about maybe a good couple teaspoons of salt. Bring that to a boil, and we'll add these potatoes in. As you can see, we are boiling hot. I'm gonna reduce this down so I can get more like a low boil, something like that. And now let's get these pre-washed potatoes in here. Just about like that. I don't need to do the whole bag, but just enough for me to make a little something. And like I said, we're gonna let this will easily quickly come back up. It's like more at a low boil. I'm giving this roughly, I think, about 10 to 15 minutes, and I'll bring you back. We'll check. It's been 10 minutes. And I'm just going to get one of these bigger ones. That's how I kind of test them. I mean, I can definitely get in there, and I didn't push too hard, but it's still pretty hard. I'm going to let them get another 2 to 5 more minutes. Meanwhile, I'm prepping everything else. These babies are almost ready. Like I said, that's going to be quick. And I already have my pan that we're going to be going to next with these potatoes with a little bit of avocado oil on. And I tell you, it took me a while to get here, but it's nice when you pull out your cast iron skillet, and it looked like this. Already got a little bit of oil in there. Learned how to preserve it a little bit better. Grandma be hot, or grandma will be proud. We're gonna give them a few more minutes. I'll bring you right back. All right, 5 more minutes. Yeah, that's a little bit softer. Still enough to hold on here though, right? At the end of the day, you can cook them harder than that, but I don't want to make them completely mushy. But regardless, we got another cooking step, so they're gonna get done. So I'm gonna gently pour these babies over here into, woo, all steamed up. What is this, a cauldron, whatever? Strain them out. You know the deal. There we go, and I say gently just because if you cook them too far, you don't want them to get all mushed up too much. But if they do, it is what it is. They're gonna be just fine. I'm just gonna move them around a little bit, make sure I get majority of that water off. We're gonna make this jump right over to my nice and greased pan, and we're gonna put each one of these out individually. Next step, no matter what cup you can use a shot glass. Since I got a couple bigger ones, I mean, I want it to be a little bit bigger because it'll give me a good perfect smash, but you can definitely use a bigger potato. I've seen some people use those with a shot glass, and you just get a small indent. But basically, all I'm finna do, give you the top view, and you don't gotta go all the way down. We're just gonna smush it. Right? I still want to leave a nice, I don't know, a little lift on it, you know what I mean? And then this is what we're going to start with. So let's get to smashing. Easy enough, you should come out looking something like this. I'm glad I didn't go too much more because, like I said, easy to get too mushy. And you don't want to over just squish them. If they do, I mean, obviously you can still cook them and they'll be fine. Or throw them to the side, you got your little bit of mashed. You can use either avocado oil like you see here, or a lot of people will use some olive oil in this area, but a little bit of oil is going right over the top. And like I've told you before, I like the spray version. So we're gonna spray real quick over the top. We already sprayed the bottom, and then we're coming with a nice dosing of some garlic salt, good old Lawry's, and some fresh cracked black pepper. Bring you back on the fun part, which is me using the old automated pepper grinder. Like I said, you can use as much or as little pepper as you like. I happen to be a fan of the pepper, so I'm gonna come pretty heavy on this top side. I also came heavier with the overall oil, as you can see, so that way it'll help us get a nice crisp up. My oven's already at 425. We're going straight in just like you see it. All right, we done made it outside now. I'm sure we don't got too much longer. This corn's probably pretty decent. Screaming red middle. We're gonna go ahead and sear off these steaks. And I can't imagine, yeah, they nice and tender. Nice sound. We'll give them about a minute on each side. I just want to get some good color. Don't touch. Whew. And you get down there. We'll close this thing down. And team, I want to jump in here real quick and tell you thanks for watching today's video. And if you're new to the channel, go to that bottom right corner. Make sure you subscribe. Check out some of the other videos you've missed. And if you haven't done it already, find me on Facebook, IG, and TikTok. But right now, let's get back to these steaks. All right, been about a minute. Don't take long when you're over that screaming fire. Oh, pardon my reach. Yes, that's all I need. Just a couple lines. Ooh, that look more pretty there. In that hot middle. Oh, yeah. Okay. Another minute. Okay. By my daughter's count, we screaming over on closer to 500. We are good to go. Let's pull them. Man, Omaha cooking up nicely. Beautiful quick sear. I'm just gonna go ahead and get a quick temp just so I can kind of know. Good. 100 degrees. These gonna hang out here. Let me grab that skillet. Right, I went inside. We got the pan here. I got me a stick of butter. I grabbed me the roasting blend of herbs here, especially when they was reduced in price. But actually, only thing I want out of this mix is the rosemary and the thyme. The parsley they can keep. And then I went ahead and took me a couple cloves of garlic. Literally just crushed it down with my knife. Cut off the little butt ends, and other than that, it's just like you see it. I'm gonna put this directly over the fire and melt this butter down. Also, add a little bit of olive oil or avocado oil onto this pan before you put that butter in there, and that way you can stop it from burning. I'm gonna go right over the top of these coals. I'll eventually probably move this to indirect and be able to kind of let this thing finish out, but at least to melt this butter up, and I'm gonna close it up fast. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it right there like you see. Next thing, we're gonna come back in there and place the garlic along with those herbs. I'll grab me a little spoon. We'll put that kind of mixing around. We'll get the steaks in there. Give them a little bit of a spoon over, and then we'll set them indirect, let them finish up for just a few more degrees. All right, that should be long enough. Pretty much all sorted with that butter. Let me grab my fork and let's whisk this up just a little bit to help that last little bit break up. There'll be plenty of juice and additional flavor. I went with unsalted butter mainly because I didn't want to make this too salty of a dish, but you can also use salted butter, and if you do, you probably want to keep that in mind as you kind of, you know, move into your next steps of seasoning or your seasoning steps and all that stuff. Butter's pretty decent. Where's that garlic? Right, get that right over there on every piece of it, right into that butter. Man, I feel like you can instantly smell that. I'm gonna still be moving this around with my fork, but we're gonna start there. Instantly, this smells amazing. I'm just gonna come in here, and like I said, I took the parsley out, get my herbs in there. I'm gonna move them around. You can smell that. I'm just gonna let it fricassee just for a second before I slip this to indirect. Just like that. Just went ahead and slid both of those individual trays out to the side so I don't get all that direct heat in there. I'm gonna swig that around a couple more times and push all of the oregano and the rosemary and the thyme and the garlic to the side and make room for these puppies right here. Here we go. Let me put a little light on the subject. As you can see, we got it all working. We got it in here. I'm gonna get some of that green off the ground. And basically all I wanna do is with my little spoon is I'm gonna kind of baste this stuff and kind of move some of these flavors around. And we're gonna give this just a minute after I get a good basting when I get this phone down. And we'll bring these up off of here. My alarm just went off. It's been about 15 minutes. Those look solid. Let's get them out of here and get a flip. And here's a closer look so you can kind of get an idea. You can kind of see that they are starting to crisp up. The bottoms, you can see some of the crisp, which is good. I'm gonna flip them over, re-hit them with olive oil. Not as heavy on the garlic salt, but I'll give it a good decent amount of pepper. This is what the other side looks like. Already got the oil on there, a little bit of garlic salt, black pepper. Depending on how thick your potatoes are, you can tell when they flip over how much more crispy you need to get them. Mine are pretty much there, so I'll see you in about 5 minutes. We're finishing up those potatoes. I'm just gonna come in here and check out my steaks, get them a nice little basting. We basically got this roasted garlic in here. Now you got roasted smoked butter along with these beautiful herbs. The flavor should be all throughout. It's probably about time for me to take these out. Obviously, depending on where you want them to be cooked, I'm looking for roughly about 145, about 150. That way my girls will actually eat it. If it's too pink, they won't mess with it too much. But these should be fire, and I can tell. See that jiggle? He's gonna be tender, roni. Let them hang out. We'll pull them out. We'll let them rest. And it's only been a few minutes, but that's all I wanted. I temped them out. I'm where I want to be. Let's get them off. We'll let them sit to the side. They'll stay in this warm skillet too. There go the potatoes after their other 5 minutes. Last step, I've already cut my oven off. All I'm gonna do is add a little bit of shredded Parmesan cheese on top of these, and I'll let it sit in the warm oven just for a minute. Steaks is over here hanging out. Come on now, this is gonna be good stuff. This is gonna be good. Obviously, you don't gotta add as much cheese, but I got some cheese fans around here, so this is how it's gonna look. My oven's off. 5 minutes in there, let it hang out. I'm gonna go grab that corn just because I want to do a finishing touch on that. Those are hanging out. We will plate, we will eat. And the last thing, we got this corn. This whole microwave is super warm. Leave it in the husk. It'll keep it nice and warm. So this is actually ready for everybody. But I'm just gonna take it out. I'm gonna open it up, give it a quick little grill kiss. I like sometimes how I got that grill look on there. So that's what we're gonna go for. There we go. Peel it down. Nice pretty looking corn. It's pretty much in season. This is $5 for a couple dollars. Let's go on just like this. I'm gonna leave this in here so I got me a little handle. And I was just starting to shut this grill down, so it's lost a little of its heat. So I'm just gonna put it right over a firebox. I'll close it up, and I'm just gonna let it hang out for a little bit and give it a quick rotation. All right, it has been long enough. Let's get these puppies up out of here. It is time. The final of what they came out to be. I definitely want this big purple one. I say nice and crispy. You can kind of hear that. Just gonna kind of grab me a couple of these. Like I always say, pardon my reach, but you know, we are one machine. No tripod, one-handed, all love. Give me that one. Give me that one. Well, that's a little bit of those potatoes right there. And then we're gonna slide over here. Let me tell you, I have been playing around and tasting this right there. You see that nice dark brown butter that it came to be. There's a little bit of that steak juices that are flowing into this thing. The butter, along with that it didn't burn. You got these beautiful pieces of roasted garlic and everything. I have tasted this. The flavor is ridiculous. Full disclosure, I just had to switch phones. My other one cut out on me. I was right at the point where I was about to figure out which one of these that I'm going for. This one has been sitting here pretty the whole time, but I think I want this daddy down here that's been laying down and all this goodness. I'm gonna get that one out of here. I grabbed that corn from out there, got that little roasting in on that. I am more than ready for this taste. To the proving grounds, I got my cuts in. Beautiful Omaha steak. It's been sitting for a little bit, so this should be good. Super juicy. Let's see what it tastes. Hey, once I started, I can't stop, but I'm telling you, this steak is juicy and tender. You can see the moisture on that thing. And that's a wrap. I made short work of that steak, and that meal right there overall was banging. I don't know if I like my little potatoes better than I like my roasted corn, but I'm gonna tell you one thing, ain't nothing touching them steaks. Them Omaha steaks was juicy, they was flavorful, they came out perfect. I did let them sit in the pan a little longer than I wanted to as my phone went down, but in the end, it got to about the right tempo what my girls wanted, and that brown gravy that came out of there was everything. That butter and those herbs roasted over that fire is definitely something if you've never done before you should try, and I understand why restaurants stick to that. It's simple, but at the end of the day, the flavor was second to none. Wouldn't change anything. I appreciate y'all checking this one out. Shouts out to the family, you in TV land, my boys at Black's Barbecue.